What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Fossil Fighters Champions. Last time, we learned of the BB Brigade's plan to sink the islands. And this time, we're going to be boarding the Behemoth to try to put a stop to the BB Brigade for good. The gang's all here, Dig-a-Dig. I guess it's back to Fish Cut City for us. Oh, shake my fins and call me Flappy. What brings you landlubbers back here so soon? The spinal pillar? You mean that big old thing holding up the islands? Yes, we need the Behemoth to take us there right away. Is that possible? Can't say I've ever done it, but I suppose it can't hurt to try. Well, if we tickle this here spot, the whale dives deeper. Let me give it a try. That spinal pillar is a ways down, so we gotta dive this beastie a bit deeper than usual. You there, Greenie. Huh? Me? Yep, you, son. Get over here and help me tickle this here whale. Sweet! I'm great! I'm good at tickling. Now listen up. The Behemoth, beneath each one of them islands is a cave that takes you to the spinal pillar. Seeing how we got 3 islands here, where do you want to go? I suppose it makes sense to split up. Todd needs to stay here and help Robinson with the Behemoth, so I'll take Cranial Isle, Pauline can take Allium Island, and Phoenix will go to Ribular Island. Radio? We're resting right outside Ilium Island's seabed cavern. I guess this is my stop, Dig-a-Dig, but how do I get out? I don't want to fight Lord Tonzilla again if I don't think I have to. Not to worry, little miss. You don't have to fight the Lord no more. Turns out the Behemoth opens his mouth when you give Lord Tonzilla a little tickle. Well, what you waiting for? Get going. Wish me luck, Dig-a-Dig. This here's the seabed cavern near Ribular Island. Once you're out, just walk forward until you run into the spinal pillar. Rupert and Pauline should be close by now. I'll stay here and tickle the Behemoth so it stays calm. Good luck. All right, the seabed cavern. And there are several things we need to go over for the seabed cavern before we even go deal with the BB Brigade that we can see literally right there. But the seabed cavern is a very specific dig site because we only come here once and we physically cannot come here again after we deal with the BB Brigade here. So the Vivisaurs that can be found here, you want to get them here on your first trip. Otherwise, you have to find them, and they become much harder to find. And to get into that, I saved basically every single Vivisaur that we could find so far that could be found here to do the bios here, because it makes a lot more sense to talk about them here. Except for one, because I mistakenly talked about them somewhere else, and that is Angato, which I talked about in the Ice Grip Plateau. It can be found here, but if you want to hear its bio, it is in the Ice Grip Plateau. But moving on to how you actually find Vivisaurs here, or fossil rocks here. Because if we pull up the map, you see it's not a very big dig site. And if we run all the way up here, you can see that we really don't have access to much of the dig site at all. You have access to maybe half of this hallway, and that's it. So you're going to have to run back and forth quite a bit. And yes, fossils can appear up there where you cannot get them, and it's very annoying. So you just want to dig up all the fossil rocks that you can find in these areas, and then when you want to reset the areas, you just have to run back down to the bottom of the seabed cavern, which brings you back to the Bonehemoth. And then instead of running out of the Bonehemoth, because that leads you back to Ilium Village, you just talk to Robinson and tell him that you want to go back to the Spinal Pillar. Which, of course, then leads you back to the seabed cavern. But now getting into the Vivosaurs that can be found here, the first up is Cryo, which is an amazing, versatile Vivosaur with good attack at 70, a 100% gold, excite, and poison skill, and great support effects at 30% boost to both defense and accuracy. And if you don't find it here, you are relegated to going to the Bonehead Hollow in Treasure Lake to find it rarely. But moving on, next up is Tarata. And Tarata is a curious Vivosaur, meaning it is going to be behind in rank for quite a while. But it is also a pretty awesome support Vivosaur. It can heal 200% LP to your entire team. It has a 50% gold confuse skill, and it has amazing support effects. Plus 40 to your attack, and plus 20 to literally every other stat. And if you don't find it here, you are going to have to go to Hot Spring Heights to find it rarely in the cavern there. But next up is Megalo. And Megalo is another close range attacker with multiple upsides. It has good attack at 70. It has a 100% gold scare skill. It has power scale in case you need to steal back some FP from your opponent. And it has decent support effects. And if you don't find it in the said seabed cavern, you have to go to the Ice Crypt Plateau and find it in the cave. And next up is Centro. And Centro is honestly a pretty bad gimmick Vivosaur. It has 65 base attack and a 100% crit chance, meaning it effectively, when it hits, has a 98% or 98 attack stat, which sounds amazing if you stop there. But if you don't stop there, then you realize it only has 6 accuracy, which means it's not hitting anything. And it has Parting Blow, which actually does double its accuracy to 12, which makes it slightly better. And then it has nothing really else helping it, because there are no accuracy raising status effects. So you can't give it something like Harden or Inflame for accuracy, because that doesn't exist. And the highest support effect that you can get to raise accuracy is 99%. So if you do 299%, effectively raising the attack or the accuracy by 198%, you can get a accuracy of 36, which is not bad, but also that's lower than a ton of Vivosaurs, and it requires you going full in on support for this thing, and for it being always under 10% of its life points. It's really bad. And without Parting Blow, it only has 18 accuracy, which again is just terrible. And there's nothing really else that goes with it, because you're not likely to hit, which means nothing else really matters for it. But if you really need it and you haven't found it here, then you have to go to the Dusty Dunes to find it rarely. But next up is Archeo. And Archeo is a great support Vivosaur. It has Random Breath to inflict random effects. It can heal negative status effects and 150 LP for your entire team at once, which is awesome. And it has great support effects, which are plus 40 to the attack and plus 80 to accuracy. And it's found rarely somewhere else, like all of the other Vivisaurs that can be found here. But since we haven't actually been to that dig site, I'm not going to be spoiling it. Alright, now that the bios are done, I went ahead and got all of the Vivisaurs that can be got here. It took about 30 minutes, and I had to use the different color mask to actually get all the Vivisaurs. Especially Tarata was very difficult to find, so I would just recommend going to get the yellow mask and using that to find Tarata. But now we can finally deal with the BB Brigade. It was nice of them to wait for us because, yeah, we ran back and forth in here for quite a bit before actually going after these guys. Come on, you lazy dogs. Dig. Dig as if your life depended on it. You got it, boss. Soon this spinal pillar will snap, and the Calistio Islands will be gone. Good thing I stocked up on skinny jeans before all the stores were flooded. What? Who's there? Seriously? You know, I have to admit, I'm almost impressed with you. Every other fool in the island is running in terror from us, and yet, here you are. Not bad, my man. Not bad at all. But no matter how much I dig your style, I can't let you interfere with when we're so close to victory. Prepare to get your rear end handed to you. All right, getting started with our battle with Cole. We actually are outsped, which I am surprised because I brought Trima to this fight, specifically to try to outspeed him. But we are basically going to be just roaring at each other because he brought two B-Rexes, which are basically just the bony sore version of the T-Rex. And I brought Obsidian. So, yeah, we're just going to be roaring back and forth. And hopefully, my roars are slightly stronger than his roars. So, we are going to inflame Obsidian. And then we're just going to roar. And I'm hoping this does at least half of the B-Rexes. The B-Plesio doesn't really matter, but the B-Rexes, I hope it does at least half, because it would be nice to be able to take them out in 2 turns, which it looks like I'm going to be able to. All right, Cole, you got one more turn. What do you got in store? B-Plesio poison. And that's literally it. All right, well, you really didn't do much this fight, Cole, if I'm being honest. But we're just gonna go ahead and take you out right here and not really deal with you anymore. And that takes out both of the B-Rexes. And I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna rotate forward and allow Trima to dirt spray. Yeah, I want Trima to dirt spray. Because this should do enough. Yeah, 80 should be more than enough to take it out. And just like that, Cole is out again. And we get 20 points for winning this fight. And Obsidian is now ranked 13. And Harpy is ranked 16. Getting very close to max level now. Speaking of getting close to max level, Zephyr is ranked 18. Such style, such grace. I was actually distracted by your battle skills. I'm not used to being beaten in battle or in beauty. I've lost my style, and without that, I'm nothing. Boo-hoo-hoo. I think I left the iron on. Yeah, that's it. And I just love this animation that's about to play because look at this. We're injecting the calcium into the spine that's almost gone because they've been hitting it with pickaxes. And it just grows back. Yep, that's how that works. Just remember, kids, if your spine ever hurts, inject it with calcium and you'll be fine. Go here. That's some nice work, y'all. Seems the tremors have stopped on all 3 islands. Get yourselves back to my suite as soon as you can, all right? Y'all have saved the Coliseum Fossil Park from a water grave, but that ain't even the best news of the day. When the BB varmint fled, they led us right to their base. I'd love to chase them down and settle this once and for all, but we still got guests running all over the park. I can't afford to send myself or my staff out till things calm down around here. Come again, Park? You want to go to the BB Brigade base? You got guts to spare, partners, but I'm afraid I gotta say no. That here's my fight, you see? And besides, it's far too dangerous, even for the patrol team. I agree with Phoenix. The Bare Bones Brigade is on the run and in disarray. We'll not likely have such a chance again. Herbert is right, Dig-a-Dig. Let's go take care of Don Boneyard once and for all, Digga. Can't say I'm comfortable with the idea, but I suppose you're right. I'm issuing one last order to my Coliseum Patrol team. Saddle up and ride to the BB Brigade base and take out that dastardly Don Boneyard. The base is on a tiny piece of land called Bone Chip Island. I'll talk to the helicopter pilot so y'all can fly there from the Cranial Isle heliport. Soon as things tucker down here, I'll make my way over and help y'all out. Just promise to be careful, you hear? Them BB varmint won't go down without a fight. Good luck, patrol team. When you're ready, meet up with us at the heliport. All right, it is finally time to take the fight to the BB Brigade. We have been running all over the place dealing with their shenanigans, and now it is time for us to fight them on their home turf. Rupert, take me there. I am ready. Wait, Dig-a-Dig, don't forget us. All right, let's get going. It's time to capture Don Boneyard and put him out of commission for good. I like how there's absolutely no resistance to this. We're just landing a literal helicopter on their front door, and nobody's out here to try to stop it. So, this is the Bare Bones Brigade secret lair, eh? Nice goal, Dig-a-Dig. Maybe be a bit more obvious next time. Ah, nuts! It's a raid! Them fighters is here! Emergency! Call the guard! Call the commanders! Call Don Boneyard! Let's try to finish off these fools before Joe and his crew arrive. Move out. Oh, my stomach! Why did I go to that all-you-can-eat chili dog buffet? Oh, go on without me. I just need to rest for a minute. Well, actually, Todd, we're gonna hang out here with you for a second because there's fossil rocks here. Because of course there is. And this is actually the dig site I was alluding to when talking about Archeo. Being that you can find it here rarely if you don't get it in the Seabed Cavern. But there are also other Vivisaurs that can be found here, like Carno. Carno is a good close-range attacker that gets better when it's alone. Basically, it has good attack at 70 and solo power, which means whenever it is by itself, it doubles its attack stat, going from 70 to 140, which is insane and amazing. It also has 2 rotate skills to really irritate your opponents while you're not at 140 power. And it has Law of the Jungle, which actually synergizes with it a lot more than other attack zone Vivisaurs, because it's stealing the LP from your allies, which makes it more likely that Carno becomes the final Vivisaur standing on your team, since the enemy is likely to attack the Vivisaur they can take out, being the Vivisaur that you stole life points from. But next up is Trio, which is just another great support Vivisaur. It has amazing support effects, giving plus 40 to every stat. It also has Rallying Cry to take away any negative status effects from your Vivisaurs. And it has a 100% gold poison skill to help it deal damage even though it has awful stats. But the last new Vivisaur that can be found here is Packy. And Packy is a backup Vivisaur that specializes in keeping your attack zone Vivisaur alive. And it does this by its support effects, lowering the attack of your opponent's attack zone Vivisaurs, and through the use of Super Harden, which boosts the defense of your Vivisaurs. Which, between the two, it makes it really difficult for your opponent to actually take out your Vivisaurs, especially your attack zone Vivisaurs, which makes it just great in a supportive role. But now that the bios are gone over, time to raid this base. I guess you guys didn't make it very far in like the 5 minutes that I left you in here, huh? What do you gotta say, actually? I don't know if I've ever talked to you guys. These jerks just keep coming. Dig-a-dig. Where's Don Boneyard anyway? Let me handle this, Phoenix. You keep going. Can I talk to the grunt? No? You just are gonna talk to me? Okay. Up the stairs we go! We are prepared for battle! Oh, wow! You're back! You're not, like, following me or something, are you? Or maybe you're just persistent. Like an ant. I had an ant like that once. She was wild, man. So, like, you know we're even from the whole behemoth thing, right? Which means I'm totally gonna thump you good, you dig? Alright, getting into our rematch with Lola. We, yet again, are getting outsped. This is apparently becoming a trend. I just can't outspeed anyone, apparently. But I decided to opt out Rock for this fight in exchange for Medusa, because Lola has 2 fire types, and it would be very bad for my ground type to be in against especially the long-range fire type of Bijara that she has, which could get dicey if I just let it happen. But I think we're just going to do the old tried and true strategy of Inflame and Tyrant's Roar. It's probably my favorite combo in this entire game because it just does so much damage. Like, I'm probably going to do 2-shot most of her Vivisaurs. 128, 118, and 66, which Jara doesn't have that much much life points. So I think this is a 2-turn fight very easily. What do you have? Please do not put me asleep. I just said this is going to be 2 turns. Oh, I'm perfectly fine with that, actually. Put Put Harpy to sleep all you want. I'll gladly let you put Harpy to sleep because Harpy's job is done in this fight. That sucks. All right, fine. We'll rotate all the way back to the front. And then we are going to Tyrant Roar once again. Hopefully taking out at least the front two. The B Bronchio's gone, and the B Rex definitely is gone. What about the B Jara? The B Jara lives with what has to be like 5 life points, 11 life points. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rotate slightly to the front. And we're going to Cobra Twist this. Just give it the old squeeze, Medusa. And just like that, another very quick 2-turn fight. Thanks to Inflame Obsidian. And we get another 20 points for winning this fight against Lola. And speaking of Medusa, Medusa is now rank 14. And Rock is rank 15 from this fight as well. You are some kind of groovy fighter. You know that. I, can't beat you anymore. It's crazy. So, I'm gonna make, Cole's pants split. Bye! And I know we don't actually have to go into these rooms, but some of these BB Brigade grunts are very funny. John Boneyard is gonna snap you like cartilage. Alright, dude. That's a bit graphic, don't you think? And I believe this room doesn't have anything in it, so I'm just gonna skip over to this room. Because there's a BB Brigade grunt in here. You can't beat Don Boneyard! We're gonna take over the world with him in charge! Again, a bit dramatic from the grunts of all people. And if we go into this last room that I skipped over, we can find that it's actually Cole's room. Don't get cocky just because you beat me. I'm pretty small time in the big scheme of things. You're one of the 3 commanders. What are you talking about? Don Boneyard, though. Yeah, he's gonna wipe the floor with you. Alright, Cole, we'll see how that actually goes. But now we just need to head upstairs and see about actually dealing with Don Boneyard. Or I guess we would if Lester here wasn't in the way. You're a bad opening act. You stay too long and no one really likes you. Still, I know you be the one to break into our base. You just meddle like that. Well, too bad for you. This is my chance to settle the score. There's only room for one lead in this band, and it's going to be me. All right, our rematch with Lester. And we finally outsped someone. I decided to bring the combination of Zephyr, Harpy, and Rock to this fight. Mostly just because the only element of Vivasaur that he has is water. And then he has 2 neutral B Bronchios. So I was considering bringing Obsidian, but I think this is going to work out better if I just bring Zephyr and start nuking things with Zephyr's skills. Plus, this gives Rock the ability to actually use Link again, since we haven't actually been able to use Link for a while since we've been using Tyrant Roar. 232. Can we take it out with Link? Yeah! It's my favorite. It's awesome. I love linking Vivasaurs because it's just the little bit extra you need at the end of an attack. Yeah, I'm not really worried about the Vivasaurs they're bringing because I believe their Vivasaurs are only rank 7, which just feels so weak for this late in the game, if I'm being honest. Like, if we go into our into our notes. Yeah, rank 7, that's a rank 6. We're using rank 18, 16, and 15. We're more than double both of them. So I think we are just going to Tesla scale B Tricera because this should just nuke this thing out of orbit. Jesus Christ, 721 damage. That's so much. And yeah, I think we're just going to end turn and let this be Bronchio fear for its life because it's not living next turn. Bony Tsunami, what does this actually do? 44 damage. And that's it, I guess. So let's go ahead. I really want a Tesla Soar, but I think the better option is to Inflame and then just Tesla scale. Because I think the Inflame will do more damage than the Soar would have ended up doing. Plus, it gives us 90 left, so any chip that we need to do, we can use Rock to do it. Okay, Link activates. That's great. And yeah, we're just going to rotate forward a little bit to give Rock the extra 28%. And we're going to Raptor combo. Just a bunch of packs. And yeah, that very easily takes out the B Bronchio. And just like that, another very easy commander down. Yeah, man, you shredded me like a bad riff. Go on, you want to take on Don Boneyard? It's your funeral. That leaves us with one final challenge right through this door. Are you prepared for battle? Yes, we are. You have done well to make it to my inner sanctum. But playtime is over. We'll see if you have the guts to beat me. Wait, do I know you? Never mind. I'll have time to bone up on such things later. Until the Colosseo Cup is canceled, I will not allow myself to be defeated. Behold the terrifying bony swords of Don Boneyard. Right! Taking on Don Boneyard, and we actually outspeed again. So apparently all I have to do is complain about not outspeeding things, and we immediately start outspeeding things. But I decided to bring Obsidian, Harpy, and Rock to this fight because I basically wanted to just give Obsidian as much firepower as I possibly could. So having the positive support effects of both Harpy and Rock, plus Inflame, I think is going to be pretty good for this fight. Especially because none of his Venusaurs are particularly dangerous, honestly. I mean, he has the regular B-Rex and B Bronchio, and he has the new B Terra. So, but all of them are still, I believe, only rank 7. Yeah, 2 rank 7s and a rank 8. So, again, not super dangerous, all things considered. And I actually think we're going to take him out this turn without him literally doing anything, which is very funny for me to think about. That's the B Rex gone. That's the B Bronchio gone. And the B Terra lives. But it only has, what, 40? It has 24 life. So we're just going to rotate forward and kick some dirt at it. Who needs strategy when you can just kick some dirt at it? And yeah, immediately take it out without him literally doing anything. What a joke of a boss, if I'm being honest. And we get 30 points for that. And Obsidian gets a rank up to rank 14, as well as Harpy to rank 17. And Rock, Is everyone getting a level up here? It seems that way. Zephyr to rank 19 and Medusa to rank 15. Quite literally a full team rank up for taking down the boss of the BB Brigade. I couldn't imagine any other fitting reward for this. My bony swords would defeat it, but it would take a fighter of such unbelievable skill to... Oh. Yes, I knew I had met you before. You are Phoenix. Of course, it really is you, isn't it, Phoenix? I had no idea you were in the cup. You must listen to me, Phoenix. The Coliseum Cup cannot be allowed to continue. Do not trust anything the present Joe Wild West says, because he is. Are you alright, Phoenix? Joe's here, Dig-a-Dig. We will meet again, Phoenix. Where is Don Boneyard? He got away. Oh, dig it all. I wouldn't worry about your pretty little heads about that now. Thanks to y'all, we captured the 3 commanders and all of them BB bare bones lackeys. Without them, old Don Boneyard can't do much more than stump his feet and twiddle his thumbs. Now we can hold the finals like we always wanted. I can't wait to see which of you two emerges as the champion. He's right, Dig-a-Dig. The Bare Bones Brigade is finished. It's the ultimate victory for the Coliseum Patrol team. And I'm afraid this is where our era of cooperation ends, Phoenix. Next time we meet, it will be as rivals in the Fossil Stadium. You're awesome, Phoenix. You pretty much took out the entire BB Brigade by yourself. Hey, what's wrong? Try to look happy, alright? Huh? Don Boneyard knew who you were. I wouldn't worry about it. You're in the finals, you know. You're pretty famous already. Now come on. You gotta get ready for the final. The Coliseum Cup final match will soon get underway. The match will pit Phoenix against Rupert. Finalists are asked to check in at Cranial City's Fossil Stadium. And apparently a pay-to-dig site has just opened up at Hot Spring Heights. But we will worry about that next time. So, I hope everyone enjoyed watching this episode. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we take on our final challenge. But until then, happy adventuring.